Have you ever noticed how easy it is to take care of everyone else first? Maybe you're like me and you have told yourself many times that you'll do the thing for yourself after after you've done the thing for everybody else. This could be your spouse, your kids, your work thing, fill in the blank. After you've taken care of that, then you'll take care of you, or the thing that you'll do the thing that you really want to do. But if you're like me, you may find that there are also many times where there isn't time left for you to care for yourself or do the thing that you really wanted to do. Like you reach the end of the day and you're like, oh, you're so frustrated because you didn't get to doing the thing you wanted to, whether that, let's say, is the workout or working on some creative project that's important to you or doing some other task that you've just been wanting to get done because you spent so much of your time doing everything for everybody else and really putting them first. Okay, so in today's episode, I want to dive into this destructive way of living that won't allow you to show up as the best version of yourself. And it's really because you are constantly putting everybody else before you. So this is deeper than your traditional message of like self-care, like care for yourself. I'm talking about like why you really want to prioritize caring for yourself because it's related to your energy as a whole. And when you don't have good energy because you're depleted and you're always focused on everybody else, you pour that, what I would call catabolic energy, into everything you do. That means even if you're doing something that is honorable, like you're being like me, let's say you're really trying to do all these things for your kids, you're trying to be the best mom, but you may be doing it from this catabolic range where you feel exhausted, you feel depleted, you feel a little resentful. You have these other thoughts running in your head, like regret around not getting whatever it is you want done. And it's like the catabolic energy is generating and it's going into everything you do, and your children can feel it, your spouse can feel it, your coworkers can feel it. So what I want to introduce is this idea of you prioritizing self-care in whatever way, like whatever self-care means to you. And the way that I think about it is I'm not just thinking about your traditional like take a bubble bath. I'm thinking about like whatever it is that you can do that helps shift your energy up, that helps you feel really good. I want to advocate that you prioritize that because that is going to help you show up well with everything else you do, every other role that you play. And again, going back to the fact that energy is contagious. And if you're bringing that depleted energy, you put yourself last all the time, you're bringing that kind of energy into everything you do, and the ones that you love the most can feel that. All right. So it causes more issues for ourselves. So let's dive into really like the big problem of this even deeper. So I can convince you that we want to make this shift, and it's going to be developing some new habits, some new ways of thinking. And I'm right there with you. Okay. But this is the bigger problem with it is most people just really operate from this leftover energy model. It's like, I'm going to care for everybody else first. I'm going to do the work first and take care of these responsibilities first, and then I'll take care of myself later. And oftentimes later never comes. So what happens is it leads to the chronic depletion feeling, which is catabolic energy in your body. It leads to lower performance in everything you do. It leads to lower emotional regulation where you may find yourself like flipping out over like the smallest thing. It's those moments where I feel like I've seen my husband look at me and he's like, where did that come from? What? Like that little thing made you that mad? And it's not that little thing that just made me mad. It's like the pile up of everything. And that was the straw that broke the camel's back. But it's like this depletion because I'm like, oh, I'm so sick of like putting everybody else first. Like you may have thought about that in your mind, doing everything for everyone else. And maybe someone isn't really thinking about me, or I just feel like I end the day and I just feel tired and exhausted. Like we've all been there and have felt that. And this is where I want to say this with love. You let yourself get there. And I am checking myself like lately about what the thing that I've been working on is really showing up as someone that has really good energy. Like that's important to me, and like a relaxed mom, like a calm, a very like present mom, not one that's like just trying to go through my to-do list, check off all the boxes and getting from thing to thing and like that rushy, stressful energy. Like that's not how I want to live my life. And the shift that needs to happen is where we value ourselves so much that we're not giving ourselves the leftover energy. We're giving ourselves our best energy so that we feel our best and we can pour that best energy into everything we do. And I promise you, when you do that, you will see the opportunities in your life skyrocket. You'll see, because your alignment, like your energy shifts, you shift to a new frequency. Like, it sounds weird when I say this, but like you really do. Your energy shifts to this new frequency, and all these opportunities come in. You show up with more joy. You're a better mom. You're a better leader, you're a better wife, or whatever roles you have. It's really like different channel that you're on, but it requires you to value yourself in a different way than you valued yourself in the past. It's like you're worthy of your best energy, not just your last energy, not just the leftover energy. So that's the shift that I want to advocate for. So there is some other things to think about research wise that I'm going to dive into. Then I'm going to jump into some stories I want to tell you. But just research wise, some of the things I was thinking about is, have you ever heard someone say that when you're really sleep deprived, it can be similar to being intoxicated, like if you're very sleep deprived. And I think about how many of us can let ourselves get to that state. And then I think about, like, and never would I ever want to leave my children with someone who is intoxicated. But like, I've definitely let myself get into such a sleep deprived state. And I'm not just saying this because I'm like early postpartum. That's irrelevant right now, because of course I'm sleep deprived. But like other times in my life, I've really like try to do all the things, and like I've been so tired and just like not sleeping well, not putting my nutrition or my sleep like first, that I bet you I probably showed up in a similar like way of like cognitively as someone who is potentially intoxicated or drunk. And I would never leave my child with someone like that. But yet I've showed up that way because I wasn't prioritizing what I needed to care for myself in the best way. And this can even be, and there's research to support this. I was looking at a study earlier because I'm already like this. It was from Stanford Sleep Research Center, and that's what they were talking about, like the link between lack of sleep and intoxication, and how it can be so similar. So my point is that like we really do just got to think about like our own energy and what we need to thrive and feel good. Obviously, you need sleep. And I've seen where people will stay up and they will scroll their phone forever. And it's like the blue lights are going into their eyes. They're up forever. And then the next day, they're like feeling depleted. And then you crave all the junk food. And then you're like not showing up well. You're kind of snappy. You can't focus at work. It's in a sense, you're kind of showing up like as you would if you were intoxicated. If you actually looked at probably how the brain is operating, very similar. But it was a choice to scroll like that. And I bet this is why too, I think that's happening, is because it's the end of the day. And I think a lot of women, I'm just thinking of people who I know do this, they will scroll and do that late at night because they haven't taken time for themselves to care for themselves. And it just kind of feels like a treat to sit there and be like, oh, I'm just going to see him scroll and see what's out there. And, it's like feels like relaxation to them in a sense. But this is the thing, it came last. And I'm not saying I advocate that you scroll first thing in the morning. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like I'm advocating for you to do something else that actually truly lifts your energy up earlier in the day. So you're not craving it in other toxic ways, in my personal opinion. Okay. So that's what I want you to start thinking about. And we're going to go over some examples of this in just a bit. There's this other research that is about, it's called enclothed cognition. It's an enclothed cognition study. And this was a study that was done by Northwestern University. And it's basically, you may have heard this too, what you wear and how you prepare yourself physically affects your psychological performance. Like when you get yourself ready for the day, you feel better and you perform better. So it said participants wearing a lab coat were associated with attentiveness, and they performed significantly better on attention task just because they put a lab coat on. I remember how I used to feel when I felt really insecure early on in my career, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. And I remember my friend had told me like, okay, just put the blazer on and like act the part. And I felt like something changed when I put the blazer on. I'm like, yes, I do feel like I know what I'm doing now. Like just a shift happened there. But it's true. Like research supports this. So it makes me think about, if I want to perform better, another act of like self-care, caring for myself, is getting ready for the day and prioritizing putting something on that makes me feel good, or doing my makeup, even if it's in a light way, even if I'm working from home, like prioritizing that more. I want you to think about that, because this is, if you're like me, I know you do it for everybody else. Like I can get my kids dressed every single day, and I feel like I just put detangler in my son's beautiful hair. It's like growing out. My husband's trying to put it in like a man bun now, but I put detangler in it this morning, brushed it, put it in this little tiny man bun. And I think like I don't even put detangler in my own hair. So it's like I don't prioritize that, but that's what I'm talking about here is like, what about doing some of those things that I know you're doing for everybody else? What about doing it for you? And how that would shift your energy, because you care enough to want them to feel good, but you can even make a greater impact if you do it with yourself first. That's my point here. Okay, so there's another like obvious data that's here is that it like basically, if you recovery is not a luxury, this is the point of the data. It's biologically required for optimal functioning. So, the Harvard Business Review reported that chronic depletion and lack of recovery, meaning like you're not even taking time to care for yourself at all and recover. And remember, when God created the world, it was like the seventh day He rested. Resting is a part of creation. I've been thinking about that a lot too, but like how often do we build that into what we're doing in our schedule? Many of us jam pack our weekends, so we don't even have time to rest and have that time to recover. And this Harvard Business Review thing talked about how when you have that chronic depletion, when you don't have the recovery time, it directly reduces obviously your productivity, your engagement, and your performance. No duh. No duh. Like obviously, right? That's the case. But I've seen this too, where when I've worked with clients where they've been like, I just feel so disengaged from my work. I don't like want to do this anymore. It doesn't excite me. And a lot of times it's because they're not building in time to have fun, which I think about that as self-care, to have fun, to take time for themselves, to be creative. You may hear my baby girl. She's crying here in the background. I'll go get her in just a moment. They're not even doing that. And then they feel like, of course, you're disengaged in all that you're doing because you haven't prioritized recovery for yourself, creativity time. Those things are a part of self care, my personal opinion. It's not just about the bubble bath. It's also about like, are you taking time to write down your creative ideas, to have a coffee by yourself, to brainstorm, like envision what could be possible for you in the future? Or are you too busy just trying to juggle all these different balls and left at the end of the day feeling depleted? Because self-care also, again, involves creativity. That's what I believe. And I feel like those that actually prioritize time to be creative, I feel like one of the greatest forms of self-care, they just have really good energy in how they show up, the contagious energy. Okay, I want this question to soak in for you. So I've been reading the book, A Relaxed Woman. I believe that's what it's called. I forget, but I've been reading that book, something like that. And she says in the book, the author, instead of, and this is me paraphrasing, she said, instead of thinking like, have I done enough work to rest? And I've asked myself that, like, have I done enough to actually earn this rest? It's like something you need to earn. Shift that thought and think, have you rested enough to do your best work? Oh, it's a game changer for me. Because for a lot of us, the answer to that question may be no, I haven't rested enough to do my best work. I haven't taken care of myself well to do my best work. All right. So then something needs to shift with that. Okay. So now we're going to get into some more stories. I'll try to make them quick, but this is really where this concept really started coming from. Is most recently, my husband had a birthday, and as part of his birthday, he was gifted a spa package, and he loves massages and things like that. But I have not been one that has always loved that. I guess I have felt like, I don't know, it's like not a priority for me. But what happened was is not only did he get a spa package, I got one too. So I ended up going to this spa, and it's so cozy and relaxing, and it has like all these, like you can get these different drinks, like good teas, you wear a robe, you put the slippers on, you can do like the sauna, the cold plunge, and it's got the whole vibe. Like it's got like a lounge where you can sit, and there's a fireplace, and you can write down your creative ideas. You can do, okay, you can still hear a baby girl. All right, I'm going to pause real quick and I'll come back. Hold up. All right, got Evie in here, my baby girl. She's going to help us finish out this episode as a bouncer around. Okay. So it's got the vibe and I loved it there. So I actually went and I got a massage too. So this is gifted from my mother-in-law. And I got a maternity massage. This is when I was pregnant towards the last part of my pregnancy. And it was so relaxing just being in the space. I was like, oh, I want to come here and just like journal and just like chill, all the things. And I was like, I want to do this more. And I would have never gotten that package for myself, keeping it real. But the fact that it was gifted, I was like, I just love this. And I told my husband, I'm like, I want to make this part of my everyday like life. Like, I'm not saying like every single day I do it, but I mean like even if I came once a month or just like be a consistent thing that I do for myself. And I told him, I'm going to book this spa package for myself every time I book a speaking event. I'm going to follow it up with a day at the spa for myself or a half day where I can again, maybe get a massage, chill in the fancy robe, get the best teas and journal on things, all the things. So I ended up actually booking another massage before I had my baby and I just went in and it was super relaxing to me. But I made that rule for myself. I'm like, hey, this is a part of your new identity, like who you're being. You are the kind of person that prioritizes time for you to reset your nervous system to feel good. And it's worth it because you'll bring that good energy into everything you do. So I made a rule, like you book a speaking event, you follow up with this. So this is something I want you to think about is like, can you make a new rule for how you operate in your life? If you are the person that gives your best energy to yourself and you do prioritize time for you to care for yourself, because you know you're a leader of your household, probably leader in your work, you're a leader of so many different things. Your energy impacts so many other people. If anyone's energy is important, it's yours. I know that if you're listening to this show, because you touch and impact so many others with what you're doing in your life. So I want you to think about where can you make it a new rule for yourself that you're going to care for yourself in X way, fill in the blank, whatever feels good to you, that you know makes your energy feel good. Like, when are you going to do that? Like, I made that rule for myself. All right. So the other thing was, it was my birthday recently, and my husband stayed home to take care of the babies. And he's like, go do whatever you want. And I was like, well, like what I just love to do is just like go to the coffee shop, sit there and like write out my creative ideas. And I just love that. And it's just fun to me, have a little coffee in a mug. And so I was like, I'm going to do that too. So I ended up actually going to get my nails done, which I never freaking do ever. And I was like, because I even told myself, like, was it really matter to get your nails done? Like, you're clear, like in early postpartum, like no one's going to be seeing your nails. Like, but then I thought about how I'm going to see my nails. And that makes me feel good to look at like pretty nails. So I ended up getting my nails done and it made me feel good. I still love looking at my pretty nails. I went and got my hair done, just trimmed, not even like a fancy haircut in any way, just trimmed. And it just felt good to take care of myself. I ordered my favorite salad. I got a coffee. I did a little journaling. I just took this intentional time to be alone. And I felt really energized. I felt clear. I was creative. I came home afterwards and I was just like, I feel really good. I want to do more of that. I want to make time for this, like for myself. And I thought about how my husband needed that too, because it's like very rarely does he get time for himself. It's like, we're all in like work mode. You come home, you do stuff for the kids, all the like, you just like, when does he even have time to have creative thoughts? So I thought about this and I was like, I actually scheduled it out now. So for a chunk of time where we have childcare and we have separate time for ourselves. And then we also have a date day where we meet for lunch and we talk about our goals. Like, I scheduled that out because I thought about self-care. And what does it look like to regulate my nervous system, to reduce the cortisol, to act like I'm worthy of my best energy, and to prioritize that. Okay. So another thing, I'm bouncing baby girl here. Another thing that I've been doing is, it's so simple, but in the morning when I get up, I'm often like in reactive mode and like, running to do everything I can for my children and my husband before he goes to work. And, I pack, like, get my son's lunch ready. I get my son's breakfast ready. I get my husband's breakfast and lunch ready, like all the things. And then I'm like feeding my child my breast milk. Like, there's a lot going on in the morning. I take them showers. I get my son a shower, get him ready. Like, there's a lot, and you get it if you have kids and you've ever had to get people ready in the morning and get your household going. It takes a lot. So what I've often done is prioritize everybody else first. And what I've been doing in this season, I can't do my morning routine like I would normally would like to. Just being early postpartum. I'm not going to put that pressure on myself to get up so much earlier than everybody else, but highly recommend if you're able to definitely do that, to have that time for yourself. But for me, it was as simple as I make a protein smoothie for myself. I put it in my mini fridge that's in my room now. And I drink that before I go and I make my husband his smoothie, before I feed my children, before I do any of that. And it's like this little act of like self-care. It's like, okay, Ange, you first. You get that nutrition for yourself first, then you do it. And I have to legit force myself to do it. Like, I mean, I'm trying to build the habit, but I have to be like, oh yeah, wait, mine first, my drink first before I start doing everything for everybody else. It's just that habit that I'm trying to build. So you can think about that for yourself. Like, what is it that small thing that you can do, even if it's not a big thing, a small thing that would show that you are putting your energy first. Okay. Let's see another example of this too. This goes back to like, I do a lot of work with helping people show up from with high energy in everything that they're doing. Because I believe the energy you put in something is the energy you're going to get out of it. So can we handle transitions in our life? When I work with people on their career stuff, can we handle that transition from a high energy place? What would that look like if you showed up and you handled that stressor with high energy? So one of the things that is an energy shift is, instead of just focusing on what everybody else wants or needs, it's focusing on what is a we win scenario. Instead of a you win scenario, it's a we win scenario. It's the next level up in energy. So instead of just service oriented, which is of a high energy, it's this mindset of a we win. How can it work best for everybody? So something that I do that supports my energy and I feel like is a hug is self-care, but I got to make myself do this because it's not my default. It's when I just had text come in. I might have heard that. It is when you, like, let's say someone asks me, they want to meet with me for a call. And instead of just thinking like, oh, well, when does it work best for you? It's like, when does it work best for both of us? And I know that like, that's so silly because some people are like, well, yeah, duh. Wouldn't you try to find a way to coordinate with both your schedules? But my default has always been to ask like, oh, when's best for you? Like, not really thinking like, oh, these are the times. Like I got to work on that and be like, wait, this is what works best for me. What works best for you in this time frame, and make it a we win situation. And then sometimes for whatever reason, someone may pick a time and I will have to be, I'll have to think and be like, oh, I don't think that'll be a good time because like something with the kids or whatever. And the old me would have a really hard time communicating that. And then the me now that values herself and her energy, because I want to show up with good energy to that call too for my client. I don't want to resent it. Is thinking in the sense of like, wait, can we find another time that works best for both of us? Because that might be a little challenging for me. That might not allow me to bring the best energy. So even when you're scheduling something, think about your energy behind it and what's a we-win situation. I do this with negotiation too. Oh, baby girl. Okay, so we will wrap this up because you might hear my baby. She's wanting to eat right now. So, okay. Now, I want you to have this identity shift and thinking of, instead of being the person that takes care of yourself last or after XYZ thing happens, what would it look like if you were the person who took care of yourself first so that you could show up better for everybody else? And I want to call you to prioritizing this in your life. Like, what? I want you to think about this. What is one thing you can start including in your life that feels like self-care to you? That feels like, oh, that energizes me when I do that thing, that lifts your energy up. And I want you to schedule it. That is the call to action from this podcast episode. All right. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm going to go feed my child. I love being here with you, and I'm excited to continue to produce good content for you that really improves your life. I'll talk to you soon, friend. Have an awesome day. Bye.